we'll start out in a comfortable seated position. We'll do Sukhasana. So if sitting down in a comfortable seated position feels bad for you, you have the option to sit on your prop. It can be the pillow or a block like this, or you can stick pillows or anything underneath of your legs. So whatever works for you, just find that seated position. Start to scoot your hips back a little bit so that way your tailbone can sit a little flatter on whatever surface you're in. And then start to inhale, sit up all the way, really elongate your spine. You can even bring your shoulders up to your ears. And exhale, drop your shoulders down away from you. Just let your thoughts pass as you focus on your breath. The theme of tonight's class is going to be focused around gratitude. So while you're sitting here, think of something that you were thankful for. Maybe the fact that you can still take practice or anything that happened throughout your day or week. Just take some time and tune into your thoughts. If you have any stiffness in your neck or shoulders, you can drop your chin down towards your chest. You can roll your head towards the right or left. You can even take a full circle or just let your head drop back for a while. So just focus on your body, focus on your breath. We're going to be here for 5 more breaths. So do any last movements you'd like or hold in stillness as you inhale fully and exhale even deeper for your last 5 breaths. Two more breaths here. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to come into a tabletop position. So if it feels okay, you can just stack your joints, shoulders over top of the wrists, hips over top of the knees, or if you need to make a modification, you can place something underneath your knees, or if you're using a mat, you can fold it up a couple times. Just make sure you spread your fingertips nice and wide here. We're going to do some wrist stretches. So whenever you're ready, you're going to take your fingertips and just face them towards your knees. Yep. You can do one hand at a time or do both at the same time if that feels okay for you. Just breathe into this stretch here. If you want to intensify it, what you're going to do is push your hips back more or just stay where you are. You can even just rock slowly back and forth, just feeling the stretch. Just 3 more breaths. Just inhale all the way as you breathe through it, maybe holding in one spot. Exhale, taking it deeper, whatever works for you in this stretch. Then from here, tuck your toes under. You're going to spine your hips down towards your heels. So if you need to stay up a little bit more, if you need to put a pillow underneath of you, then go ahead and do that. We're going to be in screaming yogi toes. So your toes are tucked under. You should feel the foot stretch here. You're going to roll out your wrist from the wrist stretch that we just did, anything else you need to do. So instead of just holding really still, we're going to start to warm up our shoulders and our back for cat-cow. So inhale, bring your arms up above you. You can gaze up towards your palms, and exhale, really open up your chest, broaden out your shoulders, chest, everything. Yes. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, take it down when you're ready. Good job. And then last time, inhale, bring it up last time. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And exhale, nice and full. Beautiful. You can bring your arms up to roll it around, and then placing the hands back down into your tabletop. You can wiggle your feet out, tap them on the mat or floor, anything else you want to do here. We're going to stretch out our ankles, and then we'll come back to our tabletop. So from here, with your feet flat on the mat, just take your time and just slowly find yourself back to that position we were just in, except your toes are not tucked under. So if this feels good, you can just sit here and hold it. If you would like to advance the stretch, you can place your fingertips down on the floor and then maybe lift up one knee, maybe the other, or you can do both at the same time, just slightly lifting or lifting dramatically, whichever feels better for you. Just take some time to breathe into the stretch. So whatever variation you want to work with. Just stay focused on your breath. We're almost there. All right, for our last 3 breaths, we're going to start to inhale. Lift up your chest, arch your back, look up towards the ceiling, and exhale, bring your chin in towards your chest as you hold onto your knees. Take 2 more breaths doing the same thing. Just inhale, really arch your spine and open up your shoulders. And exhale, curl in. Last time. Inhale, bring it up. And exhale. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and walk yourself back to your tabletop position. If your legs feel a little stiff, you could feel free to stretch your leg out and roll your ankles around, anything you want to do on either side, or you can just hold it back to your tabletop position. From here, we're going to take cat-cow pose. So in this position, you want to really make sure you inhale, lift up your spine, and arch your back as much as you can. And then exhale, curl your spine, bringing your chin in towards your chest. You can hold it for a few seconds in either posture, but just really make sure you're breathing fully through either variation. So you can just hold it or just move through, whatever feels better for your body. In your cat-cow pose, if you need to move your head around from either side, you can also move your hips from one side to the other to stretch out your side body. Just feel any movements the way you need to as you continue to breathe. You can do this about 3 more times. And just finish up doing the last 2 breaths with whatever movement you like. Good job. The next postures we're going to work on is going to be thread the needle. So I might switch directions for you guys so you can see better what's happening with my body. But first, we're going to start out with bringing the right arm up, gaze towards your palm. Then as you exhale, take the hand, thread the needle. Your shoulder is going to come onto the floor as well as your cheek and the side of your face. Then when you're ready, you can inhale, lift up even more towards the ceiling as you reach up with your left hand, bend your elbow, and then just keep your hand behind your back, or if you're able, to walk your fingertips into the inside of your right thigh. So while you're here, just focus on your breath as you inhale, lift up and twist towards the ceiling, and exhale, see if you can settle into the posture a little bit more. We're going to stay here for 2 more breaths. Just inhale all the way as full as you can. See if you can take the stretch even deeper or just maintain where you are. Whenever you're ready, you can slowly release by bringing the left hand up. If you want to roll it out, you can. Then just place it back down to the mat or the floor. Then inhale, lift and twist, bringing your gaze back up to your right hand. You can open up as much as you can. And then exhale, bring it back down to the floor. Move around as much as you need to in between the postures. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to turn it this way. You're going to inhale, lift up the left hand, reach up and open up your chest. And exhale, bring your hand, thread the needle. Take your left shoulder, the side of your face, everything down to the mat. Try to keep your knees underneath of your hips as you reach up and open up your chest again with the right hand, coming behind you, maybe bending the elbows so that way you can find your fingertips to the inside of your left thigh, or just staying wherever you're comfortable. Remember while you're here to open up towards the ceiling. Then exhale, try to relax your face and whatever muscles that you can. We're going to stay here for 2 more breaths. So do anything else you'd like while you're here. Just make sure you're breathing nice and full. And then remember when you're coming out of the posture, just release nice and slow. If you need to roll out your wrists, anything else as you bring your right hand down to the mat, go for it. Then inhale, lift up and twist, finding your gaze to your left hand. And exhale, taking both hands back down to the floor, maybe twisting side to side, maybe letting your head hang heavy, anything you want to here. We're going to come into puppy pose from here. So for puppy pose, if it's a little too intense to lay your chest flat on the floor, you're just going to start to walk your hands out in front of you from here. Then slowly bring your chest down towards the floor a little bit more, maybe just hanging out right here as you slowly use your breath to lower down little by little. If you're able to just bring your chin and chest down all the way, then go for it here. Three more breaths. We're going to come into Sphinx pose from here. So if you know that posture, go into it. But if you need help with cues, just come onto your forearms on each side and then lower your belly down to the mat. Then when you're in Sphinx pose, if you have a block or anything here, you can bring it in front of you and either hold on to it with both forearms so that way you can keep the distance, or you can bring it up, placing your forehead down onto the block as you relax the back of your neck. Your goal here is to just keep pushing your elbows back a little bit more so that way you can feel the back bend as you inhale, lift up your chest and broaden your shoulders. And exhale, relax your chest and body down towards the mat with the lower half. So inhale, lift up with the shoulders, and exhale, keep everything down with the legs, your feet, and maybe even your head. 2 more breaths. Just inhale nice and full, really lifting up if you haven't already. Exhale, lower the belly down even further. And then on your last breath, just inhale and exhale as full as you'd like. Then when you're ready, go ahead and lower your right cheek or left onto the mat. You're going to spread your legs a little bit wider than the mat's distance and then just windshield wiper your feet from side to side. From here, we're going to go into seal pose. So with seal pose, your legs, like I said, are just going to go wider than hips distance apart. And then if you want to take it easy into the posture, bring your arms out far in front of you, or your hands, shall I say, and then just slightly push yourself up just a little bit. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. If you want to get deeper into it, walk your hands back closer to you and lift up higher. So just be careful if you have any back issues with how high you lift up. While you're here, you can always take your time and just walk it back, maybe at each breath, versus just getting deep into the posture on your first breath. So just take your time and do what works for your body. Inhale nice and full, and exhale. See if you can drop your shoulders down a little bit more. You can drop your chin towards your chest. If you need to roll your head in any circles to help you out here, you can as well. To add on, if you want to play around with cobra variations, you can lift up your feet off of the mat and just breathe, bringing the head up and back, almost pretending to touch your feet towards your head. If you'd like to do that one day, we can all pretend and just stretch here. Go ahead and take 2 more breaths. Just inhale all the way nice and full. Open up your heart towards the ceiling and exhale. Whenever you're ready, you can release your body down on your last exhale. So just take your time and just bring it down. If you want to windshield wiper your feet again, go ahead and do so to help release any tension that you may be feeling in your spine. We're going to start to stretch out our quads. So whenever you want, go ahead and just bring your legs down. If you want to bring them in some more, that's fine. Or like I said, just do whatever works for your body. I'm going to start out with my left leg. So go ahead and grab whichever leg you'd like, but if you want, you can go ahead and grab your left foot and then see how much you can bring your foot in towards your glutes. So if you need a strap or anything to help you here, go ahead and use that. But you're just bringing everything in. Just give me 1 second. So the closer you bring your foot in, the more you'll feel the stretch. You don't have to bring it in so much that it's hurting your knee, but just bring it in so that way you feel a stretch here. Then whenever you're ready, what I want you to do is take your left hand to the inside of your foot this time, and then you're going to drop your foot over to the outside. Yep, good job. I can see you guys doing it. Perfect. So instead of bringing your foot in, you're taking it out. We're going to switch up in a second and take a different variation of frog pose. So if you want to kick your leg up and down, wiggle it around if you want to before we do this variation, go ahead and take your time. But what you're going to do is you're slowly going to bring your left knee or right, whichever one you chose, up to be in line with your hip. So just take your time. I'm pretty stiff. I haven't done a lot of yoga lately, so just take your time with bringing your knee in line with your hip. And then, if you can look at your knee and then make sure your ankle is in the same line and keep your foot flexed. If you're comfortable here, you can go ahead and lay down. If you want to advance it, you can take a prop and stick it underneath your knee. If your knee is bothering you on the surface that it's on, you can take a little towel or anything there and relax it here. So whatever minimizes the distractions in your mind from these postures will definitely help you be able to hold them longer and breathe through them. So just take your time and find your comfort zone, and then see if you can inhale, lift up your chest a little bit off of the floor, and then lay your body a little bit more flat into the ground. So if your hip is a little bit raised up, see if you can try to press your hip down into the floor and twist even towards the right a little bit and just relax. So if we were in class, I would be walking around and say, okay, I'm going to push down on your hip a little bit, just breathe through it. So pretend that I'm walking around and helping you lower your hips down towards the floor as you relax your shoulders and your face. Maybe even relax your teeth and your lips. Just letting go all the way from your head down to your toes. This is a good posture that you can do when you're laying down in bed if you're especially the type of person that likes to lay down on your stomach. You can just bring one leg out to the side, do some of the stretches we just did, and then just switch sides at your own pace. Take 5 more breaths in this posture. See if maybe you can relax a little bit more, or maybe if you want to advance it, you can stretch your leg out all the way straight, taking almost like a half middle split. And if your leg doesn't go straight, so what? Just keep it bent at the knee and just take it out a little bit more if you want to. Just breathe into whatever you want to try today. So just take your last 2 to 3 breaths here. If any posture that we're doing you really, really like and need to hold a little longer, you can as well. Just work at your own pace. Whenever you're ready, you're just going to bring your knee back in if you have it straightened out. If you want to take any movement to the ankles, your leg, go ahead and wiggle it out. Bring it back into the center. If you want to windshield wiper the feet from side to side a little bit, you can go ahead and do so. And then we're going to do the same thing that we just did on the left leg onto the right, or whichever leg we chose. So whenever you're done with whatever movement you need to get your hips warmed back up, we're going to grab the same series of poses, but onto the right leg. So grab your right foot, or your strap, whatever you're using, and then just bring your foot in towards your glutes and just relax again. So with this one, we're bringing it in, not out. So just hold on, try to make sure you feel the stretch, and just relaxing your head to either side, or just bringing your chin down on your arm, whatever works for your body. Just tune in. Keeping your awareness to your breath. Then trying to keep your face as relaxed as possible. And just scan through your body, see where you're holding on to any tension, and try to release it. We're going to come out of this soon. So just breathe through it, taking it deeper if you haven't already, or just trying to continue to relax and maintain where you are. Whenever you're ready, you can release your foot. You can kick the leg up and down, take it in a circle, anything you want before you take the other variation of frog pose. When you're ready, you're going to take the inside of your foot and then drop it over to the right. And then just relax everything all over again. You don't have to force your foot down. Just lightly put pressure to advance your posture as much as you need to this evening. Just take your time. Just letting your breath help you relax into every pose that we do tonight a little bit more. We're going to stay here for about 5 more breaths. So if there's anything else you want to try here in this pose, then go ahead and do so. Or just breathe through it as best you can. All right, go ahead and release your leg. If you want to roll it in a circle, kick it around, anything you want, roll your ankles out. Just prepare yourself for the last frog that we're going to do. So take your time and just bring your right knee in line with your hip. Then we're going to work on squaring our body down towards the floor. You may even twist your body over a little bit towards the left and then lay your body back down. Make sure your knee is in line with your ankle. Keep your foot flexed to keep your knee protected. And just settle into the mat or the floor as best as you can. Just take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. And just let the gravity be your best friend right now. In this variation of frog, you will have the opportunity to do both legs at the same time in the position that you're in. But just take your time. We're going to stay here for another 5 breaths. And then you can either relax your legs and stretch them around, or you can just bring the left knee, meet the right where it is into frog. So whatever you want to do. Just go ahead and take your last 2 or 3 breaths here. And then you can decide if you want to wiggle your legs out before taking a full frog. If you want to skip a full frog, it's okay. We're not going to stay here too long. But I am actually going to just try to slide my knee up to be in line with my right knee here. And then just hang out. So if your hips are more tight, you might look like this, and that's totally okay. You still want to relax your shoulders by bringing your chin down. You can relax your face, your jaw, anything that you can relax. Keep your feet out, or you can take your feet in towards each other to touch. Some people say that one feels better. If you want to slowly take your forearms down, you can do that as well. You can also maybe move back and forth a little bit and then just hold it versus just being so stiff. You hold a lot of stress and emotion, a lot of energy in our hips. So usually feels good to just release it all. Sometimes it can be a little stressful, so just breathe through it. You're going to stay here for 2 more breaths. So if you want to try to stretch your legs out some, you can. Almost doing like a middle split. If you want to relax your feet right where they are, if you want to rock back and forth one last time, go ahead and tune into whatever works for your body and just slowly take your time to bring your knees in. We'll take a child's pose next. So just move as slow as you need to when you're coming in and out of frog. You can hug your knees in together and just curl up into a little ball. If you want to take your hands behind you for child's pose, you can. If you want to take your arms out in front of you, or take your hands in a prayer position, touching your thumbs in between the shoulder blades or to the back of your neck. However far you want to take your child's pose, you can play around with that. If you really enjoy hip openers, you can spread your knees wide here and come back into a wide knee hip opener here for your child's pose. If you needed to close back up, you can keep your knees together. So you decide which variation of child's pose you want to play around with. There's several. Just tune into your breath and your body. You can hang out here for 2 more breaths. just walk yourself back up to a seated position. And then just let your bottom come onto the floor and kick your legs out in front of you. You can keep your knees bent and just windshield wiper your feet from side to side. Or your knees, not your feet. So windshield wiper your knees from side to side. And you might feel a little bit of a stretch here if you hold it on each side. We're going to hold this posture soon. It's called deer pose, but you can just breathe by leaning forward into it and just get a little bit of mobility going here. Then whenever you're ready, pick whichever side you want to stay on. I'm going to stay on this side here. So you're going to make sure your knee is in line with your hip here. And then your knee is also going to be in line with your ankle. Go ahead and flex your foot. So I'm on my right side. It doesn't matter which leg you're on. Just breathe into whichever you're doing. Now, with that leg that's bent and back here, you want to see if you can get almost a 2-for-1. You can slide your leg back a little bit more. And then keeping the same alignment, your hip in line with your knee in line with your ankle. So with your body just in this weird space in the center, there's so many different directions you can take your stretch. So all of us may pick a different way. So you might want to sit up and face this forward leg and then hinge yourself forward. You'll feel this here in your IT band. You might want to sit up and twist towards the right. That might help release your lower back. Or if you'd like to twist towards that leg that's bent behind you, you can also feel the stretch in your hip flexors and all of those tiny little muscles. So just twist into either side, any direction. We'll stay here for a while so you'll have time to maybe play around with a variation or two. So just work with whatever is good for you. Try to always relax your face and your shoulders away from your ears in any posture you're doing. And any tension that you can release from any muscles that don't have to necessarily be working, just go ahead and do so. You can even come onto your forearms if you want to get deeper into this. So whatever works for you, just advance it at your own pace. We're about halfway there. So if you want to switch around and try any other ways of holding this posture, you can. Or if you want to see if you can breathe a little deeper and fully into these last couple breaths, then go ahead and do so. You can take about 2 more breaths here if you like. If you want to hold it a little bit longer, you can. We're literally just windshield wipering the knees over to the other side. So if in between this posture, before you switch sides, you want to windshield wiper it a little bit, you can. And then when you feel ready, just switch over to the other side doing the exact same thing. So nothing fancy, just moving as slow as you need to. Just breathe into all the tight spaces that you're feeling. And then when you're ready to hold any variation of it, maybe you twist behind you, maybe in the center, maybe you twist towards that forward leg and come down. Whatever you want to do, just make sure you find that space as slow as you need to and just breathe nice and full into it. With playing around with the variations with your legs, it's nothing too much you have to do. While you're here, you can just maybe walk that back leg a little bit more. Just push it back some, maybe twist a little bit more to sit up straighter and hinge deeper, whatever helps you get the most benefit from your stretch here. If you need to switch sides of which way you're holding it or anything else in this last couple seconds, then go ahead and do so. If you're good where you are, then just breathe nice and full and enjoy the posture while we're here. Whenever you're ready, you can take your time to come back up. You can windshield wiper your legs again if you need to. And then we're going to take a wide leg, forward fold, or just a wide leg seated position. So just take your legs wide from here. Make sure your feet are nice and flexed. And then if you have any props nearby, you can take them in front of you and make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. I'll turn sideways so that way you can see what I mean. So you're not going to lean forward by curling. You're going to sit up, chest forward, chin up, and then bring it forward. So that way when you hinge, you feel it in your hamstrings and your back is nice and straight the entire time. So you don't have to go too far to feel this pose. I always say that this is reality and this is Instagram. So if you feel okay within this range, stay there. You don't have to do what you see in magazines or books. Just listen to your body and keep your chest lifted. You'll feel the stretch even more. If you are more flexible, by all means, feel free to lay on the ground and stretch into it as deep as you want to. And you can use as many props as you need to help you feel more comfortable while you're sitting up here. See if you can sit up a little taller, taking a full breath. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears and then come down a little bit more this time. We're not going to hold it for too long. We'll just stay here for 6 breaths. Just inhale as full as you can. Then exhale, scooting those hips back a little bit more if you're able to. Just keep breathing. Whenever you're ready, we're going to slowly bring it back to a regular seated position here. If you want to hug your knees into your chest for a second, you can. You can even hold onto your knees and curl your back a little bit. And then we're going to take a just regular forward fold. So this is where if you have a strap that's like the shirt or anything nearby, you can use that to help you out. You're going to keep your feet flexed, but your knees can stay bent if you want. So scoot your hips back as much as you can. Keep your knees bent if you need to due to hamstring issues or knee tightness, anything in the back of your legs that's tight here. Just be mindful of that. And then when your feet are flexed, find the strap to the ball of your feet. Then you can sit up once again and then exhale, hinge forward. You can stay right here the entire time as you relax into it, or you can also scoot back little by little while you're in the posture as you exhale, breath by breath, until your legs can straighten out more. There's also a posture called crocodile pose if you'd like to take that instead, but it definitely helps to have blocks nearby, placing your forearms onto the blocks and then bringing your chin down. So whichever works for you, just take your time and just breathe. Just tuning in to the flexibility of your body, just breathing through it. Relaxing your face and your shoulders away from your ears. And just see if you can sit up a little bit more on your next inhale. Maybe even scoot your hips back even further. And exhale again, taking it a little deeper. Just pay attention to your lower back. See if you can really straighten up and hinge forward to feel the stretch here. And then just listen to your body. Being grateful for your body, for being healthy and alive and well right now. We're going to switch into a posture called Janusirsasana A. So what you're going to do is just take your right foot into your left thigh. That's it. If you have a strap, you're automatically going to go towards that leg that you have the strap on. But if not, you want to sit up again and then twist your body towards the left leg that's out straight. Then, as you exhale, just hinge forward and placing the hands to the mat, maybe to your shins, maybe even your foot. Just try to keep your foot flexed using your props or whatever you can to help you out here. You can bring your chin down towards your chest, relaxing the shoulders from the ears. Anything else you can relax. Just tune into your breath, body, and just find that space that you need to take the stretch as deep as you're able to. We're going to move into the other side. So go ahead and take the legs out. If you need to take a little bend, windshield wiper, go ahead. But just bring the left foot into the right thigh. Keep your foot flexed and then just breathe, holding it here. Just lifting up and twisting towards the right leg that's out and then hinging down when you're ready. You can do this with or without a strap. Just whatever variation works for you. Maybe scoot your hip back a little bit more. That way you can sit up taller and then really hinge even deeper. You may notice that some poses are easier to hold on one side than the other, and it's just due to natural little imbalances in our body. So just try to give your body equal attention whenever you can, especially while we have the time to do so on our, we'll call it a break. So just try to see if you can stretch maybe a little longer on your tighter sides when you have the time, or just give it equal attention while you're in the posture in classes. Just going to hang out here for 3 more breaths. So if you want to take it deeper, relax anything, go ahead, and then just at your own pace, you can bring your knees back into the center, into your chest, and windshield wiper your knees around or anything else you'd like to do. All right. So we're going to do a reclined butterfly pose, but before we do that, before we're laying down and doing anything, I want you guys to twist, but we're going to twist to the right first. So with your twist, you can keep your leg out straight and put your right foot over the left leg, or you can bend your left knee and you'll feel it a little bit more in your hips. So whichever one works for you, just set yourself up. So your right foot is on the outside of your left leg. Then even in classes, this is confusing for people, so just make sure you just try to pay attention as best you can with your body. Hold your hands onto your right knee. Then sit up nice and tall. Inhale, and then twist to the right. So from here, hug your right leg into your chest and hang out here, or drop your right hand behind you as you look over your shoulder. Or you can take any binds, anything fancy you want to do. Just go ahead and just feel yourself through this posture as you sit up and inhale even deeper. Open up your chest even more as you exhale and twist. Really engage your belly here. So I'm the teacher that always talks about internal immune system building and trying to protect your insides from anything bad that could affect you. So make sure you inhale, lift, and squeeze your belly nice and tight here and detoxify all the internal organs. Then we're going to exhale and release, twist side to side. And sometimes that stretch can be a little bit much to hold. So you can kick your legs out, anything you want to do, and just switch. So might be a little confusing, so I'll explain it again. You can keep your right leg straight this time and take your left foot over to the other side of the right leg. Then whenever you're ready, if you want to stay here, that's your pose. If you want to bend the right knee, then you'll take it here. So hold both of your hands onto your left knee. Sit up, maybe scoot your hips back if you need to. Just sit up nice and tall first. Inhale as full as you can. And exhale, twist to the left side, hugging your left knee into your chest. So you can stay here, or you can take your hand down to the mat and look over your left shoulder. I always say like you're posing for a pretty picture. So just lift and twist as much as you can. So this pose is good for detoxifying everything, helping all of the internal system move and do its job. We'll just leave it at that. So if you ever feel any stomach issues, just try this pose one day. Even if you're sitting at the dinner table, you can sit up and twist a little bit. Then it'll help your belly and even your spine. So when you're here, sit up for 2 more breaths. Sit up nice and tall. Twist even deeper. See if you can squeeze your belly. And then on your last breath, sit up as much as you can, twist as much as you can, and release when you're ready, twisting from side to side. Good job. So I don't like teaching this pose without straps, so we'll just modify. You can get deep as into it as you want to. That's on you. But if you have something nearby that you can use as a strap, then you can. But before we lay down, you're going to inhale, bring your arms up. And exhale, place your hands together and bend your elbows. Yep. So it's almost like we're doing the pose where you're interlacing your hands behind your back. But we're just going to warm up by doing this first. So just take 2 more breaths here. Sit up as tall as you can. Exhale, see if you can get your thumbs a little bit further down your back to really stretch out your arms. Then last breath, inhale. Then you're going to reach up, reach, and exhale. All right, so if you want to go for that bind or that posture, I'm going to turn away from you. You have the option to just bring your right hand up, left hand down. Bend your right arm, touching your hand to your hand to your shoulder blade or anything behind your back. Then same thing on the other side. Reach behind you and just touch your back wherever you can. You can stay here, you can grab your shirt. If you can grab your hands together, that's fine. Or you can use whatever assisted prop you're going to use to feel the stretch here. Good job, guys. Yep. So just use the prop and just see wherever you can grab it. You can be so far apart. That's totally fine. Just listen to your shoulders here. So 2 more breaths here. I know this isn't the most comfortable of postures. Just breathe into it. And be careful when you release. What you're going to do is that hand that's down on the bottom, just drop it down. You can roll your shoulder out and then just lift this top hand up and roll your shoulders. And then whenever you're ready, just switch it out. You're going to either take your prop, bring it behind, and then take your hand, reach behind you, and then just hold here. The more you sit up and bend your elbow on the top arm, the more you'll be able to comfortably hold the posture. If you feel yourself crunching down and try to lift up, it causes a lot of strain. So it helps out if you sit up more and just reach the way we did in the beginning for the prep of it. So from here, if you want to pull down a little bit more with that bottom hand to pull the strap, you can, or just stay where you are. And take 2 more breaths. Do whatever you like here. Then same way we did on the other side. Just drop that bottom hand down and then just reach up, roll your shoulders out, and give yourself a hug or anything else you need to do here. Now we're finally going to lay down and do that reclined butterfly pose. So use your props for this reclined butterfly pose as well. If you want to take anything behind your back, I'm just showing variations. You can and lay here. If you want to take anything underneath your legs to make your butterfly more comfortable, you can do that. You can place pillows underneath you and relax. Trust me, if I were at home, I would have so many pillows and blankets everywhere. So use as much assistance as you need and just tune into your body. So in your butterfly pose, if you want to take one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly, you can just breathe here. You also have a couple more options. Both hands can go down. They can go up over your head. You can grab your elbows. Anything you want to play around with. Just make sure you're comfortable here. While you're here, just see if you can just let your knees drop open a little bit more. Maybe you can even adjust your back. Take your shoulders away from your ears even farther, and then just lay even flatter onto the floor. You can close your eyes and just tune into your breath, trying to breathe so full and deeply that you can hear yourself take each inhale and exhale. We're going to move into a posture. Well, I call it legs up the wall. It could have a more technical name for it, but usually we do it with our legs up against the wall. But right now, you're just going to lift up your legs. And you can bend your knees into your chest a little bit if you know your legs are super tight here. It's okay if your legs wiggle and wobble. Trust me, mine feels wiggly today. So just roll out your ankles. But the next thing I want you to do, it's going to feel kind of funny. I want you to spread your toes really wide, the same way you would with your fingers, and then ball them up like they're fists. So use your feet like they're your hands. Spread them wide and ball them up like fists. You can point your toes like a ballerina. And then what I like to tell people to do is try to pretend that you can flex your toes all the way back towards your shin. It's never going to happen, but you can just alternate between the max flex that you can do and how far you can point, rolling your feet around and your ankles to really release the plantar fascia of your feet. This may not feel that comfortable, so don't worry if you don't choose to do this. But if you ever want to work on your flexibility in a different way, you can also spread your legs wide in this posture or do it against the wall. So sometimes, depending on how tight your hips feel that day, it can feel a little too intense. Other times, it might feel great. You can even prop your hands up underneath your legs to make sure they don't go down too far as well. So either way, you can take it deeper or prop up. If you want to go into happy baby from here, you can. Anything you want to play with, have fun. This would be happy baby, where you take your hands into the insides of your feet and you can rock side to side. You can play around with kicking one leg out long. Same thing on the other side. You can do both legs at the same time. Don't worry about your toes touching the floor. Just stretch out your legs as much as you want to either side. So I did a lot of hip openers because I know we're probably all going through our own different stresses in different ways. So to try to release whatever we could be holding on to, whether we're talking about it, journaling about it or not, whatever, to just physically release anything you may be holding on to and may not even realize. So just wiggle your legs, stretch them out, bend your knees, take any circles you like. Then we're going to come into a bridge. And so usually we'd have lots of blocks underneath of us to support us, but we're just going to all do it together and just hold a bridge for maybe 4 breaths. That way it's not too crazy. So in your bridge, what you're going to do is walk your heels back as close as you can towards your glutes. Then, once you're all set up here, I want you to push your hips up towards the ceiling. Then you can either grab onto your ankles, you can press your hands into the floor, anything you want to do. Pick your bridge arm variation, that's up to you. But when you're ready, we're going to push up our hips as far as we can. Just inhale all the way. Exhale. 3 more breaths. Just give it all you got. Two more. And your last breath here. Go ahead and slowly bring it down. Good job, everybody. If you want to hold it longer, you can, but I just felt like that was a fair number to start with. We're in class with no props here. So just hug your knees into your chest. And then if you do need a longer bridge, you can grab whatever you want to help you out later. But we're just going to drop our knees over to the, let's say the left side. So take both of your knees, drop them over to the left. You can scoot your hips over towards the right, and then look over your right shoulder. Since you have lots of space, you can either take cactus arms or spread your arms out as wide as you like to take up as much space for yourself as you need. You can even place your left hand on top of your knees and then sit up and twist even deeper, laying your upper body flatter into the mat to really help find that release for your back. You can move at your own pace into the other side. If there's any movements you want to take when you're in the middle, you can. Basically, we're about to prepare ourselves for Savasana. So if you need to do a little extra movement here, that's fine. But just move your hips over to the left side this time, and then bring your knees over to the right. Then once again, you're going to sit up, taking a deep inhale, and twist over to the left, looking over your left shoulder, taking up as much space as you want. Arms wide, cactus arms, taking the right hand onto the knee, whatever makes you feel more relaxed and released. We're going to take about 5 more breaths here. And then whenever you're ready, you can bring your knees back into the center if you want to rock back and forth or anything else that'll help you more comfortably lay down flat on your back, then go ahead and do so. So just come out of it at your own pace. You can take another breath or two if you like. If you need to hug the knees in, if you need to rock back and forth, whatever you need to do to help relax your body. If you want to place props anywhere, for some people it hurts to lay down flat on their back. So if you place something underneath your knees, like a pillow or a towel, maybe in that lower arch, underneath your neck, whatever you want to do. And some people really like the way it feels to just lay with nothing underneath of them. They feel more grounded. So you find your jam and inhale whenever you get there. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and then exhale. Pretend I'm pushing your shoulders so far away from your ears. And then just relax here. Let your feet just drop off to the side. Let your fingertips just do nothing. Your hands just melt and relax into the mat. Pay attention to your face here, making sure you're relaxing every muscle from the center of your forehead, letting your eyelids just softly close, and letting your face just get heavier and heavier as your jaw relaxes and your teeth and your lips start to slowly separate. Take another full inhale here. Exhale, bring the awareness to the back of the neck and your shoulders as you see how you can lengthen and relax those muscles here. Pay attention to your chest as it slowly rises and falls with each breath that you take. Just notice your belly and just take gratitude for every part of your body. Just let your hips sink into the mat as you relax your legs and even release the tension that you're holding in your feet and your toes. The only thing that you should be doing is just tuning into your breath and finding appreciation for that very breath that you're taking right now. With all the things that you can be thankful for, make sure that you take time to take gratitude for yourself. So just appreciate what makes you who you are, the gift that you are to the world, for another breath or two. If you're laying down, you can lay down as long as you need to, or you can slowly start to bring awareness to the fingertips and the toes as you scan through with the same breath that you use to relax your body. Just bring awareness back into yourself. You can roll over onto the left or right side into fetal position. And just take your time, working your way back into the same posture that we started class in. Whatever comfortable seated position works for you. So while we all have the time in our lives, try to appreciate your family. Try to appreciate the time that we usually wouldn't have to maybe spend time reading a good book, spend time taking a longer bath, whatever it is that makes you feel more whole or calm. So make sure you spend plenty of time taking care of yourself mentally and physically, especially because this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So what I want you to do is whenever you feel a little stressed out, just focus on your breath and then focus on something that you can be grateful for. So from here, we're going to take 3 breaths together. Just inhale all the way, and you can exhale through the mouth. So fill up as big as you can. And then just exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale here. And exhale. Last one here. Add your arms as you inhale, reach up. Take the biggest, fullest breath that you can. Fill up even more as you gaze up towards your hands. And exhale. Just releasing any negative energy or tension, anything that is not serving you. I hope you guys feel better, and I hope you all stay safe and well. I've missed seeing your lovely faces, and I can't wait to see you guys again soon. So, namaste, and I love you all. Stay well.